Mike here, Golden State Picker. Thanks for joining me in today's video. Boy, we got an exciting one. I am in my home in North Carolina, and I don't get to basically scroll a lot on Instagram back home in San Jose, California. But when I'm out here, I get a little bit more time, especially at night, to basically see what's going on in the world a little bit more. And I'm taking a deep dive into the world of collaborations. I've been noticing that Artemis Piguet and Swatch, little pocket watch collaboration that has been going on, and it's been kind of crazy across the nation. I noticed that back home in my town in San Jose, California, the mall there was basically so full of people and people jumping the line, all that kind of stuff, that they canceled that one back there. So it's kind of getting wild, but collaborations have been around for a long time. We'll talk about that later in this video. But I just thought I'd tackle it a little bit. So thanks for joining me today. If you're new, I'm Mike. I'm out of San Jose, California. I also have a home here in North Carolina, and I like to do videos back here like this. And I thought I'd give you one today, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to call it collaborations. And this is what we're going to get started with, all right? Think about this. Pokemon, luxury watches, shoes, clothing, toys, even high-end brands. Everybody is teaming up with somebody these days, right? It seems like every time you turn around, there's a collaboration with Pokemon, Apple, all of that kind of stuff, right? Now, some people love it, some people hate it, but I think there's a bigger picture here because I think it tells us something about where business is headed. So we've seen it, right? We are all into social media now, so it is a huge part of our lives. It's not going to go away anytime soon. And these collaborations are what these businesses are doing now to get excitement about their brand and so forth. And I think that's what's going on with Artemis Piguet and Swatch. I think Artemis Piguet probably needed a little bit more than Swatch. Not positive there. I'm not a big on those two so much, but I think that Artemis Piguet, I think, has one watch, the Royal Oak, I think, or something, that takes like 90% of its sales. It does 90%, one particular item, and this is what this is geared towards. So it's going to be interesting to see. So let's talk about what I think about these collaborations, and let's get started. First, I think this is one of the big ones. Attention is the new currency. Think about that. What I'm talking about here is years ago, companies sold products and they sold them with media, traditional newspaper, radio, and TV. Well, today it's a lot more geared towards the social media access and how you are getting that word out to a certain demographic. I think it's like the 20-year-olds to 40-year-olds, that little 20-year window is very important to these companies, right? So these companies now, what are they selling? They're selling attention. So attention is the new gold. Attention is the new oil, so to speak, all right? Think about it like that. Think about how you might walk into a store and there would be a normal watch, say, we're talking about this Artemis Piguet, and you just normal watch. You just walk right by, right? But now, think about this. Put a famous character on it or give it the hype, right? Put a limited release sticker on it. How about putting Pokemon on it? Put hype around it. Now people are standing in line. Nothing changed except one thing. They got your attention. That is the huge thing. So they've built this hype up. They got your attention. And now you're set up for the next step in their little soiree, and that's called FOMO, the fear of missing out, right? Big fear of missing out. So let's be honest here. The companies understand psychology. They understand how you work. They understand all of that. They have teams of people who are looking at that. They know exactly what they are doing. How about this? Limited release. Only available for 2 weeks. Special edition. One-time collaboration. What happens? People panic, right? I better get this now. This little voice starts talking in their head, right? What if it becomes worth money? And what if I miss out, right? That's the thing that they've built, right? And then they build this frenzy, and it only takes, 500, 1,000 people to show up at these malls. It seems like the whole world's there, but it's only 500, 1,000, 1,500. All over the country, this was going on. And some of them, they couldn't even open their store, right? So here, let's talk about maybe the good side of collaborations, right? It's not all bad. Some collaborations are incredible. Swatch and AP, hey, we don't know. It introduced younger people to the watches, right? Not many people can afford an Artemis Piguet watch. But it introduced them to that, okay? And now they're in that they have a little piece of it, so to speak, right? That's the key. Now, how about the Pokemon collaborations? They can bring new collectors into hobbies, right? The Pokemon is, they start them young, basically, right? And they get into the hobby and they grow with it, right? But sometimes these partnerships create excitement. They create energy, right? And they also create fun. Businesses need growth. Nothing wrong with that. If people enjoy it, I say great, no problem, right? But here's the danger. But here's what I think gets to be basically dangerous, right? When everything becomes special, nothing becomes special. Think about this. I'm going to use this. How many of you are in my age bracket and remember what? The special, when they broke into the TV, right? And they had a special announcement. And you sat back and you go, oh, what's going on in the world, right? And they broke in, the noise happened, and then all of a sudden Walter Cronkite popped up on the TV, and that meant something. Well, if you take a look at now, the way they do breaking news is meaningless almost anymore, because it seems like breaking news is happening every 5 minutes, right? So if every week there's another limited edition, another collaboration, another must-have release, eventually people basically become numb to it, like we've become numb to the breaking news, right? The same thing can potentially happen. It's kind of dangerous, right? You can only yell wow so many times. The people stop listening. It's like inflation. The more money printed, the less it's worth, right? The value is less. The more hype printed, the less excitement it creates, right? We become anesthetized to potentially all of this, right? And that brings me to what this means for resellers and collectors. What's that mean for us, basically, in a short little section here? This is where I think many people get burned. They start buying the hype instead of buying the value. There's a big difference, okay? Because hype, it moves fast. You hear me talk about motivation, all of that, how it can be fast and fleeting because hype moves fast, right? What does value do? Value lasts, right? So we have to look for value. These hyping collaborations, they can be gone in a fleeting instance, right? Some of these collaborations will also absolutely become winners. We've seen that, right? But maybe even some will become like legendary, and some will become big, right? But a whole bunch, they're going to do what? They're going to sit in closets, sit in garages, and sit in storage units. That's what's going to happen, right? And people will say, I thought this thing was going to go to the moon. How many times? You've heard it in the stock market. You've heard it everywhere. Hype of a stock, hype of this kind of stuff, hype of just everything is hyped and hyped and hyped. And we become anesthetized to it. So it's a dangerous thing. Buy the value, keep the value. That's going to work, right? All right, in conclusion, I got a cough. Sorry about that. I think collaborations are neither good nor bad. They're tools. That's all they are. But don't become a lemming chasing every shiny new collaboration that's out there. Be cautious, okay, is what I'm saying. Think, ask questions. Why does this exist? Who benefits? Is this real demand or manufactured demand? Because the winners long term are usually the people thinking while everyone else is what? Reacting. All right, hey, there you go. That's the end of the video. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a something on the overall collaboration thing. Hopefully you just got a little spin on it from me. You know, you got to be cautious. There's nothing wrong with some of these collaborations, but again, there's so many of them. So you've got to really understand which one is going to give you the value if you get one or you chase one. But so many of them are not going to give you value. I don't know about this Artemis Piquet Swatch deal. I've heard that it's going to be available in 2 weeks, and in the market you watch, it's probably going to crater in a little bit. So be very, very careful out there. Keep thrifting, keep picking, keep doing all that stuff. Look for the good value. Look for those gems. Make some money. Really appreciate everybody watching. If you like the video, hit the subscribe, like, and the bell notification, and I will see you in my next video.